In 1899, Wallowa, Oregon was incorporated as a city. The name Wallowa is Nez Perce word for a fish trap.
Chief Joseph was a good man and a good leader. Chief Joseph was one of the Nez Perce leaders. His band was the Walim Wetkin of Chute Palau, or Nez Perce. His father was Old Chief Joseph. His original home was Land of the Wandering Waters, also known as Wallowa. He was forced to move to Lapwai by the government, but before he could get there, some young warriors killed 4 white men, and that started the War of 1877. Chief Joseph's Indian name was Inmutu Yalaplai. He wanted us to understand his people. Chief Joseph was a man of peace, not a man of war.
Wallowa Elementary School is amazing. I appreciate all the work the staff does. I love our new water bottle filler that has nice, cold, refreshing water. That is why when we are not working, I go and fill up my water bottle. Here are some facts from Wallowa Elementary School's past. The old elementary school building burned in 1933. It was built in 1899. It held 300 students from grades 1st through 8th. The new elementary school was built in 1951, and this one is still standing.
The Blonde Strawberry smells like coffee creamer and delicious sweets. The Blonde Strawberry used to be Burroughs Cafe in 1952. Then it changed to James Cafe. Then it was the TNT. Then it was Ron's store. Now it is the normal Blonde Strawberry. The Blonde Strawberry is awesome.
In 1876, the Methodist Church was started in Lower Valley by F.C. Bramlett as leader. Later in 1899, they had enough people to build the church in Wallowa. That church is the old Methodist church that is now being painted purple. In 1940, the Church of Christ purchased the old Methodist church, the purple one. That same year, the Methodists purchased a new church. It was built in 1907. At first, it was used as the Presbyterian church. It was then used as the Methodist church until this day. I think this building is really old, and I wanted to discover the backstory of it.
Where Food City in Wallowa stands today is where an old livery and feed stable used to be before it burned down about 1913 or 1914. They built a building in its place in 1916. The building was purchased by Merle Strite and Barton Wade. They sold Ford automobiles. In 1932, it was purchased by Lawton McDaniel, and he sold Chevrolets. In 1959, Donald Connor purchased the building, remodeled it, and moved his grocery store into it. That was called Don's Food Store. But now it is Wallowa Food City, owned by Becky Schaefer.
Click, clack, ring, ring. This is the telephone building in Wallowa, Oregon. The telephone building was built for the Telephone Telegraph Company and put in its first poles in 1900, and the communication service began in March. Next to the telephone building, there was a restaurant and the McLean Theater. The building was 24 by 70 feet and was one of the finest buildings in the county. The building was pink pressed brick with large plate glass windows on both first and story streets, making well-lighted rooms for the office and telephone operating rooms. The new office building was built on November 15, 1917, in the beginning of the week. Underneath the telephone building, there was a large basement, which was used for a wooden coal cellar. In the back of the operating room, there were 4 rooms, which were used by local manager Mr. and Mrs. Charles Hood. There were 4 rooms, which consisted of a living room, kitchen, bath, and 2 sleeping rooms, and a pantry. The telephone building is now used as a farmer's market.
We would like to thank Cam Scott of Fishtrap, Marilyn Hulse and Marianne Burrows from the Wallowa History Center
for their help making this movie.